on 26/11. It was around 1 a.m. Kept on dialing his phone back to back, but there was no answer.
26 नवंबर 2008 को कामा अस्पताल के बाहर फायरिंग में विजय सारस्कर भी शहीद हो गए।
It was very, very abrupt because I never thought that he would not come home. He used to tell me a lot of stories about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj because his life was largely influenced by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. That day I felt, okay, today this is the gratitude that the country has paid. Yeah, yes. And I would lovingly call him my control room. आई थिंक कि वो एक मैसेज जो है जो मैं अपने फादर को देना चाहूँगी वो ये है।
Welcome to the RK Talk Show. Today we have Divya Vijay Saraskar as our guest. Divya Vijay Saraskar is a name which is known to the entire world via her father, late Vijay Saraskar. So we'll welcome Divya on our show. Today we would like to understand or know about how Divya Vijay Saraskar has been brought up since her birth. Would like to understand the journey, would like to understand how Divya was being pampered by her father, her mother, and can you please take us through the journey?
Unfortunately, just 21 years, but it was the most beautiful part of my life that I have ever lived. My father was not just a father figure that, oh, he's my father, how can I talk to him? Or sometimes girls tend to have that apprehension when they communicate with their fathers. With my father, it was never like that. It was such a free-flowing conversation always. I could talk about everything under the sun without having any thoughts of what he will think or consequences of something being right or wrong. I could be absolutely myself with him since I was a child. He was my guide, he was my mentor, he was my best friend, and I would lovingly call him my control room. Because I knew that if there's any trouble, like generally if there's any trouble, people tend to call control room. So he was my personal control room.
The control room technically has a lot of controlling elements. Okay, so as a child, you have always reached to that controlling room. Do you miss that controlling room?
It's control room, not a controlling room. So
Control room.
I mean that control room was more about more than controlling me. It was about controlling the circumstances around me. So I knew that okay, if I got into any kind of trouble, I needed to make this one phone call and then things would be fine. I was once traveling across Europe and we got stuck in a random village in Germany.
Oh.
And it was a very lonely kind of a place where there was a long street, there was a cathedral, and there was a mummy inside the cathedral. I had gone with a tour company. We were left behind. The bus had left. And then finally, I didn't know what to do. And for some reason, there was no network. At that time, there used to be these PCOs, ISD booths. So at a distance, I saw an ISD booth. I said, now there is only one thing left to do. So I went, I called him. I said, listen, I am stuck in Cologne in Germany. And this is what has happened. So now I don't know what to do. So he said, you just don't move from that place. That's it. I have no idea what he did, but the bus, everybody, they came back to pick me up along with food and everything. So my whole life has been about him sorting things for me, making things easier. But it's not like he pampered me anyway in the wrong way. He was always He used to tell me a lot of stories about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj because his life was largely influenced by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He had visited all forts that are there of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So he would tell me stories. I wouldn't get to spend a lot of time with him because he was always busy. So the one Sunday that I would get to spend some time with him would go in these kind of things.
This Germany episode, what was your age then?
It was 20. I was 20 years.
You were 20 years and you had your friends with you?
Yeah, I was traveling along with some family friends.
Oh.
So they got delayed.
So what was that magic stick
I have no idea till date what he did, whom he called up, or what phone calls he made, but they came running is all I know.
I would like to know more about this control room. How has he been instrumental in taking care of your education, playing with you, being participating in your friends group or interacting with your friends?
So to be honest, I mean, he's been quite instrumental in my education. So I used to like writing poetry. And when, I was in 10th grade, and mom was like, you're writing poetry, study something, all of that. And he would come and tell me, you please don't stop writing poetry, okay? You always write your poetry. He always pushed me to do the things that I really loved. He was very encouraging of me to study foreign languages because he realized that, okay, maybe she has a flair for language more. So he encouraged me to take up French. I think because of him that I could complete my diploma in French. So he was very encouraging of that. He would push me to, because he was very fit, he would push me to work out. And I think that was the only area where, I wasn't really living up to the mark. But yes, otherwise I did not get too much time with him. That's been a regret that I did not get a lot of time. I technically got only 1 day out of the week because all other times he was working. He'd taken me to Rajgarh and all these places that I do have some memories. He wanted to take me from Panargarh to Vishalgarh, but unfortunately we were never able to cover that. He's like, I'll take you, and then we had a group of family friends. I'm going to take all the children and I'm going to explain them the history so that the history lives on with them. So he was very instrumental like that in shaping our thoughts, and he was very famous with children. They all liked him. Nobody was afraid of him. Not at all.
Super cop.
He's super cop. Not a single child was afraid of him.
It happens when we generally, when we are child, we are always inquisitive about, visiting our dad's office or our mom's office. How was your journey towards the first step towards the police station as your dad's office?
As far as I can remember, I mean, I had always been going to his office. When I started studying French, it was at this school in Bandra, and that time his office was also in Bandra. So from junior college, I would come to his office, I would eat something in his office, making it almost my office, and then go to classes. I actually have been visiting his office since I was 2 years old. So those memories are something that, others tell me about. Obviously, I don't have a recollection of those, but it had not been very often that I would go. But especially but while studying French, then that was almost an everyday thing, whether he was there in office or not there in office.
When you enter into a police station, there is always any civilian or any person who enters into a police station, it is a trauma for every individual to enter into that police station. Now you are entering into a den.
Yes.
Okay, you are entering into a police station where you will find people coming with their problems, you will find people with their evil things which they have committed, finding people who are behind bars. And how was the overall ecosystem of your dad's office?
So I'll tell you that a lot of time he did crime branch. His police station was very less, where there's a lot of local crime being reported. Those years were less. He was majorly head of crime branch and doing very specialized things. I remember this one episode when his office was in Banner. Generally, he would inform that, okay, my daughter is coming. She'll be here for 15-20 minutes. That day I was calling him. He did not answer the phone. He was extremely busy. So, but I said, ठीक है ना, मतलब big deal. So I went, and that Hill Road police station, crime branch office, first of all, the door was shut. I had never seen the door shut because he would always keep the door open before I came. I went there, I knocked, and this mm, police constable with a stain gun opened the door. Kona bhai. So, so and I was in FIJC, junior college. So I said, "Hey, माझे वडील आत आहेत." So he said, "कुठे आहेत तुमचे वडील? वडिलांचं नाव आहे तुमच्या?" Then I said, "Vijay Salatkar." He said, "Oh, okay, okay, wait." And then he took me inside. He said, "Sorry, sir, मला माहित नव्हतं." He had a little cabin. I went into his cabin. There were 10 people standing. They were standing around his table. They were probably discussing something very important. They had some maps and stuff on the table. And then, so he said, "Are you didn't call me?" I said, "No, I called you so many times. You didn't answer." He also said, "Okay, okay." He would not get angry. "Are, how can you enter my office without taking my permission?" Nothing, not at all. He said, "Acha, acha, okay, okay, come in." He told everyone, "Give me 15-20 minutes." I sat there, I ate. And then, so while I entered the big door that finally opened, I entered. There were at least about, I think, 80 to 90 people. Okay. And I had never seen this. So I said, "There are a lot of people waiting to see you." He said, "Yeah, yeah, they will all see me." So I ate, and then I opened the door again. I have no idea where those 80 to 90 people went, where he hid them, but it was just like there was nobody. And I used to tease him, "I never see anybody. What work you do? You should come home with me." And then I was like, "Oh my God, where did these people absolutely disappear into thin air?" So, he always kept that line where he never exposed the uglier sides of his work to me.
As you were growing, you might definitely having boys around. Okay, you might be having some good friends around. How were the friends from the male category looking towards you, wherein her father is Mr. Vijay Saraskar?
So all male friends were like, "She is my very close friend. She is my best friend. I will not date her. I don't want to be found in a ditch." So yes, so he was a very, very chilled out person. He did not have any problems if I dated anyone or anything like that. It was more about other people having problems than him having any issues. And he was always very, very calm. He always welcomed my friends of even interacting with him, although his personality was not at all like that.
Yeah, he was very, very simple, very calm.
Very calm.
Divya, when we talk about the parenting, wherein you have a super cop as a dad, he has a very different personality all across. In the world of crime, people used to be definitely scared of him.
Yes.
How about your mom? How was that control room or controlling room?
My mother was the controlling room.
Okay.
She controlled my dad and me, both of us. I think, if Vijay Salaskar was afraid of anybody, that was his wife, my mother.
That's pretty. It goes without saying.
Yes,
it has
yes.
no brains to be applied in.
True.
So, can you please speak something about your mom?
My mom, I think, she was the one who actually kept a lot of things together because he was not available a lot of times. So it was not just about running the household, even made it a point to take care of the slightest of his things so that he would not have any kind of inconvenience while getting out of the house. Right from his breakfast to his BP medication, everything. And my father, he was very much like, "Goda ghyacha nasta. No, I don't want to take this medication." So he would make her cut that tiny BP tablet into half. Then it became 1/4. So he said, "I will control it with yoga," which he didn't manage because he was very dedicated with his physical routine. But she would do all these things for him. He never had to think, which shirt do I have to pair with which pant.
Oh.
So she exactly knew what he wanted to wear on which days. And she was not just that, she was also, supporting him financially because she started investing in share market and all of that. She's been trading for almost 30 years. So she supported him not just putting the house together, but also financially like that. So she's been the backbone of
The
his
super lady
life.
of the house.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. दिव्या, और कुछ जानना चाहूँगा आपके पूरे सफ़र में, आपके पूरे ज़िंदगी के सफ़र में, हाउ इज़ द लाइफ बिफोर विजय सारस्कर एंड आफ्टर विजय सारस्कर?
Before Vijay Salaskar, it was a very carefree life. After Vijay Salaskar, it is been a life full of learnings where you have somebody who's shielded you for so long. Now that shield is not there. You get to know, you understand people, you understand their true colors, you understand power of the chair, you understand the intentions with which people come and speak with you, what they want out of you. So, lot of life has been learning post Vijay Salaskar. It is actually I have a pre Vijay Salaskar era and a post Vijay Salaskar era.
How was that? Wasn't it
Took a while.
so? When we talk about the pre and post, definitely pre era was
Yeah.
always very loving, soothing, caring. Post, you still think your father is there with you?
I actually really believe that my father is there with me at every stage. I feel he watches over me like he's my guardian angel and he watches over me at every step. There's a reason I'll tell you why I believe this. I was studying in London and my phone got flicked off. So I had to go to the police station and you going in the UK police station and telling them that okay, because the SIM card could be used for all the wrong purposes. So just I had to just report. I knew I was not going to get my phone back, but that my phone has been stolen. So I went to the police station and they were like, oh, if you don't have a certain number or something, there's nothing we can do. I'm so sorry, we cannot even acknowledge your complaint. So I said, but what if it is used for the wrong reasons? What am I supposed to do? I said, let's see what we can do, etc. etc. Was going on for a very long time. Then they were just out of the blue, the topic of 26/11, they were discussing with each other. Oh, you heard last year about this ghastly attack in Mumbai and everything. And they say, oh, you're from Mumbai. Can you tell us something about it? So then I gave them the reference, and then they were like, you don't worry about anything. A British officer told me, you don't worry about anything. What he's done is so big for humanity that just put down whatever you want to. We just think that this is taken care of. So I know that he's standing by me at all times.
Divya, how about you taking a leap into your career when government of India gave you, I
Yeah.
think they offered you an opportunity. Maharashtra state offered you an opportunity to work
Yes.
with the government, but you chose to work out on a corporate segment. Can you please speak something about that?
So,
Or your father always wanted you to be into corporate, or he always had some dreams for you to become an IAS or IPS or something like that?
he would have loved for me to become not an IPS officer, but an IAS officer. Also, but he was also, if I did an MBA, or he left a lot of things to me. Eventually he was like, okay, if this is what she likes, then the government sector is not for her, then it is better that you do an MBA, and then at least you will have an exposure to the corporate world. So he was okay with pretty much anything that I did. There were certain reasons because of which I chose to walk out of the government sector. The government of Maharashtra, the government of India had really bestowed that opportunity upon me, and I was very grateful also for it. But due to some hiccups inside, I did not continue. Also, the field that was given to me was completely different than my field of study. That was a tiny bit of a hitch as well. Then I decided to get into the corporate sector, started working with TCS, and started doing what I really love, which is human resources.
Okay. If you would have given an opportunity in the
Hmm.
government segment in terms of training or in terms of something which was liking, it was your inclined study or subject, would you
Yeah, I
have?
think then I would have continued, because that would have supported whatever I had studied. And also, I think, those years were very rushed. So I never
Yes.
really had the time to sit and think through things. It wasn't like if I had asked them that, put me in your recruitment department or your HR department, they would have considered that as well. But somebody told me, okay, you should go get into sales tax and you should do this. At that particular point, I think we stabilized only 10 years post my father passing over. Those 10 years, lot of ups and downs, because there was no guiding factor. So there were some mistakes made, and I think that choosing the wrong department was a mistake that happened during that phase.
Okay. So, uh, when coming back to your pre and post era,
Hmm.
you still think that whatever happened, I mean, the life which has happened to you, the princess life, and then the phase two life is a warrior life.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sure the winning warrior life. So right from a pampered princess to all of a sudden that night you've changed into winning warrior. How would you define yourself in totality in today's stage? How Divya is pre and post? Has she become a spearhead person in life? Has she become heavy headed? Has she become blunt? Has she become subtle? Is she a go to person for each and every person? Or what is Divya today?
I think the pre Divya was a little stubborn. She always was used to getting things her way. The post Divya is she's very focused, but at the same time she's very humble. So I think that is a big difference that is there. Now she is a go-to person for everybody. At that point, she wasn't. That is a big difference. That from being in a certain way to being humble has been a journey.
You wish to stay humble for the entire life?
Yes,
You
I
are
wish to.
enjoying that life?
Yes, it makes you more empathetic towards people. Previously, I believe I must have been more sympathetic, but now I believe that I'm more empathetic towards people. I actually understand, where somebody is coming from. I've learned to take life with a pinch of salt. Where previously if something did not go my way, it would hurt me a lot. I was never very aggressive. I was a very quiet child as it is, but it would still really hurt me a lot. Now I'm much older, so anyways, but still I feel that okay, now I'm more settled and I can take things as they come. I can deal with them in a more calmer and positive manner.
Divya, how was the moment when you took Ashoka Chakra on behalf of your father?
I think that who made lifeguard, it was the most proud moment. Um, that phone call that we got, कि you have to come to Delhi, आपके father को अशोक चक्र मिलने वाला है. Then I got to know this. A lot of people were coming and telling us a lot of things. And we were very grateful. लोग आ रहे थे, वो मतलब वो बोल रहे थे that, how proud we are. फिर journalists say they were asking कि what has the government done for you? I think the culmination of something that justifies his sacrifice is the Ashok Chakra. So I think वो जो moment था when my mother walked up to the stage, the then president, Mrs. Pratibha Tai Patil, gave her the Ashok Chakra. I think it is the highest point of my life. There's nothing higher than that. That day I felt okay. Today, this is this is the gratitude that the country has paid. Yeah.
Paid back to you.
Yes, absolutely.
कुछ ऐसे लम्हे होंगे आपकी लाइफ में या कुछ ऐसे इंसिडेंट्स आए होंगे आपकी लाइफ या वो लाइफ की वो एक मोड़ पर आप कुछ सीखे, आपके ना माँ ने सिखाया ना आपके फैमिली मेम्बर्स ने सिखाया, प्री एंड पोस्ट, पहले और उसके बाद के जो कुछ लोगों के रवैये, लोगों के तरीके आपके लिए जो चेंज हुए। आपने पहले बताया कि कुछ लोग थे जो मेरे साथ अभी तक जुड़े और कुछ लोग थे जो वहीं छूट गए। तो ऐसा क्या था जो आपको समझ आया कि ये वो इंसान नहीं है, बिकॉज मेरे पीछे एक शील्ड था या बिकॉज मेरे पीछे एक पावर थी या बिकॉज मेरे पीछे एक हाथ था, इसी वजह से वो प्यार, रुतबा, इज्जत मेरे लिए था। लेकिन अचानक में वो जैसे साया चला गया, मेरे लिए उनके तरीके, उनके रवैये अचानक में चेंज हुए।
Something very basic, I'll tell you. Okay. एक certain ना club की membership थी because I was a swimmer. So it was an honorary membership. Okay. After he passed away, it was revoked.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was, and बताया भी नहीं गया था कि it is being revoked or anything. I went over there and he said, मैडम आपका कार्ड नहीं चलेगा अभी. So I said, मेरा कार्ड कैसे नहीं चलेगा? So he said, हाँ आप जो भी है आप इनसे बात कर लो पर अभी आपका कार्ड नहीं चलेगा. And I was like, okay, I did not even understand. So I called up my mom. I said, they're saying कि this card is not working, some issue. So she said, no, just it's okay, just come home. So I said, ठीक है. We didn't really talk about it, but I understood that कि अभी वो कार्ड नहीं चलेगा.
क्या वो कार्ड्स आपके सामने आने के बाद आपका रवैया उनके लिए चेंज होता है या आप वैसे ही जैसे सबके साथ हो वैसे ही होते हो?
One thing जो मैंने सीखा है, nobody is a long term friend or a long term enemy.
Oh.
It is best to just maintain relations. वो एक लर्निंग है मेरा कि कोई भी परमानेंटली सही नहीं होता, कोई भी परमानेंटली गलत नहीं होता, सब अपनी एक जगह पे सही होते हैं.
बहुत ही सुंदर लर्निंग है. आई मीन टेम्परेरी फेस होता है दुश्मनों का भी और टेम्परेरी फेस होता है दोस्तों का भी.
I also learned कि कुछ ही लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो आपके साथ आपके खुशी में, दुख में, एंजाइटी में, हर चीज में, डिप्रेशन में, नो मैटर व्हाट, वो आपके साथ खड़े होते हैं. एंड दोज आर द ओनली पीपल यू कैन काउंट ऑन योर fingertips. And those are the only people who should be there when you get married, in my opinion.
What is the message you would like to give as a daughter, as a super cop's daughter, or as a late Shahid's daughter, to the country or to the community or to the world?
So there are two messages. One is, of course, that in terms of family, my mother always had the upper hand. In 23 years of my parents' married life, I never saw the super cop raise his voice on his wife.
Super.
Not once.
Coming back to your career, post your education, you have studied in foreign country, then you came back. Unfortunately, you couldn't work out with the government offer which was given to you. What is your next phase in your life? What do you think, that you will enter into politics, or you will start your corporate affairs, or you will get into some genres of NGOs which you just quoted? What is that you think you should be doing in next phase of your life?
I believe that in the next phase of my life, yes, there is a part of me which would like to join politics. I think in my post era, मुझे realize हुआ, politics is also the biggest division of HR. there is, I think, उससे बड़ा.
You think people should join politics? You think the younger
I
generation
think
should
the
join
younger
politics?
generation should join politics, because otherwise, how will we shape our future? The ideas will be quite redundant. If we want to progress, I believe the younger generation has to join politics. अगर हमें लोगों की सोच बदलनी है, अगर हमें ग्रास रूट लेवल तक जाके लोगों की सोच बदलनी है, तो more young blood needs to come into politics. Otherwise, I'm the current politicians we have. They're good, but age is a factor, right? And that is why so much importance is given to youth.
Oh, very important takeaway of the episode where we talk about the politics. Politics happens to be the most important element for
Yeah.
today's generation because
Yes.
we are talking about shaping up the future of the country, where we see down the line after some decades India becoming a super powerful
Yes.
country in this entire
And
world.
you know, we population wise, I mean, we are the biggest, but also our younger population is our demography is good. Okay, so the future lies with India. So if they are not patriotic enough, they feel they're not being given the right opportunities, then the youth will suffer. Then we will not be able to become a superpower. Most of the Western countries, the biggest problem they face is that they don't have a young population.
Young population.
Yeah. Even, I mean, people are working till the age of 75, 78. Because why? How? Because otherwise they're not able to sustain themselves.
True.
And the system cannot run. But by God's grace, India में हमारे पास बहुत young blood है, and people who, and this generation wants to do something. तो आई बिलीव दैट वो एक्टिवली पॉलिटिक्स में आ सकते हैं. और मुझे ऐसे, द ओनली कंप्लेंट जो मेरा है अबाउट मे बी जेन जीज एंड जेन अल्फा इज दैट they are aware a lot about the recent ongoings within the country. They are aware, you know. If we think that okay, they are not aware, ऐसी बात नहीं है. I feel the impact of history is less on them. Maybe because they are generations further away, the impact of history is less on them. I believe that media, whether it is radio, whether it is print media, whether it is social media, whether it is just television, okay, movies, the film industry, they should never ever stop making content on our history.
Okay.
So that needs to be percolated in them.
So, when we talk about the career graph, and when we talk about the next phase of the strategy, I'm sure you will probably get chance. If you get a chance, you will definitely enter in politics
Yeah.
in near future. But what are you currently performing in your life?
So I have my own HR and training consultancy, which is called HR Crafters.
Oh, that's the reason why you said politics is a part of NHR.
Yes, because you know, ultimately problem solving is everywhere, and that is the crux of everything. What I personally like, so my company वो deal करता है training में, it deals in one-to-one human interactions. Okay, we like to call ourselves organizational culture therapists. सो हर कंपनी का अपना एक वर्किंग कल्चर होता है, आइडियाज होते हैं, विजन होता है, मिशन होता है. सो इफ देयर इज एनी डिस्क्रिपेंसी anywhere in any of the processes, we have to make sure that the culture is aligned to those processes. If the culture is aligned to those processes, the vision becomes unified, because of which most of the problems tend to fall in place. और अगर ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है, तो then you need to work on gradually changing the culture. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि नहीं, कल्चर में प्रॉब्लम है, you cannot create processes out of problem cultures. So अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपके कल्चर में ही कुछ चेंजेस लाने हैं, so of course there's change management. It's a due process. It takes easily about 8 years, I would say 8 to 10 years, a decade for complete cultural transformation. But slowly, it's a journey, and it happens if you want to change the culture. Now, every change requires counseling. So that is why we call ourselves organizational culture therapists.
ये पूरे कोर्स ऑफ लाइफ में आपने आपके पापा से बहुत कुछ बातें सीखी,
हाँ.
आपने आपके पापा से बहुत कुछ मैसेजेस लिए,
हम्म.
ऐसा क्या वो एक मैसेज होगा जो आप अपने पापा को देना चाहो?
आई थिंक कि वो एक मैसेज जो है जो मैं अपने फादर को देना चाहूँगी वो ये है कि उनकी ना सब बच्चों के साथ बहुत अटैचमेंट थी इन द फैमिली एज सच. ही वाज एवरीबॉडीज फेवरेट. सो यू नो अब सब बड़े हो गए एंड अब सब सेटल्ड है. सो यू नीड नॉट वरी अबाउट देम एनी मोर. जो भी आपकी जर्नी है आप उस पर कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं. और आई थिंक एज अ फैमिली हम और ज़्यादा यूनाइटेड हो गए हैं जिस तरह से आपको अच्छा लगता था. तो दैट इज़ आई थिंक द मैसेज दैट आई वुड लाइक टू गिव हिम.
सच ए लवली मैसेज. ये पूरे लाइफ स्पैन की बात कर रहे हैं. जैसे मैंने आपको, जैसे हमने आपके पूरे कन्वर्सेशन में ये सीखा कि ये समझा कि एक पापा की परी से एक योद्धा तक का सफ़र जो आपने तय किया है वो डेफिनेटली काबिल तारीफ़ रहा है, और वो अपने में ही एक अलग यूनिवर्सिटी से गुजरे हो.
या
स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट हो गया, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मैनेजमेंट हो गया, कार्ड्स ना चलने का एपिसोड हो गया, या आपकी फैमिली के कुछ ऐसे लोग जो आपके साथ हमेशा रहे, वो एपिसोड हो गया. तो ये सारे एपिसोड्स जब भी आप कोलेट करते हो, जब आप अकेले बैठते हो, तो क्या ये सब चीज़ आप अपने पापा के साथ डिस्कस करते हो कि हैव यू एवर स्पोकन टू योर फादर व्हेन यू आर अलोन?
आई टेल यू इट्स अ बिट ऑफ अ ग्लिच कि मैं कभी उनसे ज़्यादा इस तरह से बात नहीं करती क्योंकि फिर मुझे रियलाइज़ होता है कि वो नहीं है. सो फॉर जित सिंस 16 years मैं कभी बहुत ज़्यादा उनके फ़ोटो के सामने खड़ी नहीं रहती. मैं आज तक जहाँ पे ये इंसिडेंट हुआ मैं उस जगह पे नहीं गई हूँ. आई लाइक टू बिलीव दैट ही इज जस्ट समवेयर. ही इज नॉट विथ मी. वो घर से बाहर है बट ही इज समवेयर. बहुत कम बार ऐसे होता है कि आई एक्चुअली हैव अ कॉन्वर्सेशन विथ हिम. Most of the time I just like believing that okay you know he's just around somewhere. अभी भी कहीं तो है. So that is what I like to.
Very touchy statement, Divya. It was really pleasure inviting you at my show today, and definitely this episode has nothing to do with any kind of commercialization or any kind of things. It was just a general talk which we always share, and just wanted to make our audience more aware about how a daughter can be pampered by a renowned super cop.
Thank you so much for having me over. It has been an
Thank you very much for
absolute pleasure
being
talking to you.
your scheduled time.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you for having me.